What is up, guys? So, we're back with another Samson song. And I decided to pick this one, Turning Point, because it's one of the latest ones on its channel. And I'm not sure if I've heard it yet. So let's get right to it. Max resolution. Okay.
Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, and bless his family. I know the devil's hard at work. I can't even fathom all the grief and pain that y'all have went through. My thoughts are nearly impossible to explain, but I'll attempt to. I've already written like 5 intros, so many wasted paragraphs and revised pen strokes. There's just so many things I want to say, and I don't want to say I'm wrong. I don't know how many times I almost threw away this song, but I feel an obligation.
All right, okay, 6 months ago, so this was fairly right after that Charlie Kirk's assassination, which makes sense.
I have a platform and people want my observation. This one is complicated, I go back and forth on it. The facts are distorted so much I'm half and half, I'm torn on it, trying to...
I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding that and questions, which I don't blame people for having questions and wanting to figure out the truth. I think you do have to be careful sometimes with, just blatantly making statements until there's complete evidence on it. But so far, as like musical wise, it's different. It has like a more of a slower beat to it. Let's keep going.
The scope of this, and so I'm asking if there's more to it. Reading way too much and end up actually just warping it. Too many voices echoing, reporting everything. How you supposed to comb through all these different passages and sort it? There's so much information out there, it can make you feel like you don't know what's fake or real. Way too many fake reels. Shit, it's almost like it's done on purpose just to make us chase our tails. I wish someone would wake me up and offer me those matrix pills so I could see through all the tints in the facade. But I can't, so I feel like I should give this up to God. Cause it's a lot, and I could use some guidance, cause I'm struggling. I got 2 different sides that are inside of me just tugging. My heart tells me fuck these nasty individuals, so despicable, fucking trash, I bet they're miserable. Couldn't last in a debate, so they had to get physical.
I was gonna say too, for anyone who's concerned with it, language warning. I didn't get to say it at the beginning. I forgot that, he uses more language like that. I don't think it's as often as, some mainstream rap, but obviously some of that can be worse. But anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, I agree that there's so much information out there, and it's hard to always tell what's true and what's not, and especially with AI now too, and how quickly or rapidly it's advancing. And I was planning on doing a video actually discussing something like that, and I may still in the future. But basically, how it's getting harder to trust or believe your eyes. That, I agree that most of it, you got to give up to God and have faith and trust, and then, you can't worry or fear about different things.
Got smashed verbally, so they resorted back to trigger pulls. All he did was talk, he debated, that was all. Never held a position.
Let me go back a little bit.
Despicable, fucking trash, I bet they're miserable. Couldn't last in a debate, so they had to get physical. Got smashed verbally, so they resorted back to trigger pulls. All he did was talk, he debated, that was all. Never held a position in office or made any laws. He created an organization to display his faith. He sat right in front of your face and had conversations with y'all. He spoke. He never suspended your rights, never signed a single fucking bill that affected your life. What exactly did he do that directly impacted you? Instead of saying a couple of sentences that you disliked, y'all took a couple quotes out of their context and flipped it.
I agree, you're gonna kill someone because you can't handle words or them having a difference of belief than you. Who's really the violent one and the intolerant one? Anyways.
Out the important parts and conveniently left them missing. And even then it still didn't sound that aggressive. Shit, if you thought that was radical, then we got different definitions. And you go and compare him to George Floyd, cause he was a father too. Fucking oh boy, what a wild thing to say. I don't gotta even explain, it's two way different things. This shit is not even the same. You can't trust someone that you don't personally know, so I could never say for sure that Charlie Kirk would be my bro. But if I were to go off of reputation alone, I would never fucking let George Floyd into my home. And it's got nothing to do with his race or his skin complexion. Nah, it's more to do with his lengthy criminal record. Yeah, it's more because the drug possessions and the robberies and home invasions, I would trust him less around my property. We shouldn't make a mockery of him, I acknowledge that. Just because he was a criminal, we shouldn't pile on that. I won't say I'm glad that he's dead or claim he deserved it, but don't act like for 1 second that this was the same person. Just check out the reactions to their death.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that George Floyd was also on drugs, or there's drugs in his system, and he overdosed. One reason why he couldn't breathe as well. Now, before anyone gets upset, because I know people will still try to make it a race thing, I also don't think that, I think that the way the cop handled it could have been better. Like, instead of just standing there with his knee on his back or lower neck or whatever for so long, or kneeling, that, I don't know, the whole thing just seemed weird to me. That they should have dealt with it differently or had other cops help them. But anyways.
That's quite the opposite. Look what y'all did, and look at our response to it. Instead of riots in the streets, we prayed quietly in peace. We never let our emotions go, we tied them to a leash. We never flipped and flew off the handle and got shitty, and left the town crawling with vandals and cops spitting. Shit was gritty, what we saw on the channels was not pretty. The only thing we burned was candles, not cities. So get the fuck out of my face with all these comparisons. Y'all are embarrassing, we can't even call you Americans. You follow a narrative, such a typical situation. The minute something changes,
I'm just going to say, for the sake of some Christians that may watch my videos, no, I don't personally care for or agree for the fact if he's, cussing or whatever all the time, but I do think that some people do need to hear stuff straight up like this. So let's get
will switch their places. There's something wrong with you if you celebrated his death. You say the right is full of spite, but there's hella hate on the left. It's weird, it's almost like this shit melted away your stress. I never saw somebody die and then felt elated or blessed, but it makes sense. Your party's been stirring this shit. There's countless videos of politicians encouraging this. See, they rile up their base until they pile up their hatred, and now look, all of a sudden gun violence is their favorite. The minute Jimmy Kimmel got pulled from the air at night, the First Amendment became the left's most sacred cherished right. Now no one should be punished for their words. It's so important. You're right. Imagine being murdered for it. I feel like my music has been pretty moderate. I never lean too hard in one direction or the opposite. Yeah, it's obvious that I'm conservative, but watch my shit. I think I do a pretty good job at keeping my common sense. But lately I've been giving less of a fuck. I got a headache, I'm so fed up with the left and their stunts from the messages they
No, I will say I don't really care to make stuff super political, because I think that there can be corrupt people on both sides, or people that do may kind of fuel things on both sides or whatever. Now, saying that, I will admit that I do believe that there's one particular side that does tend to, do that a little more, or act kind of want to throw temper tantrums when they don't always get their way. Not all of them, but I don't know. There is a lot, and it seems like the party has become pretty freaking extreme. Well, I guess both sides in their own ways, but I'm sure you can figure out what I'm talking about and determine for yourself what he's talking about.
Peddling junk. I used to separate you. Now I just think everyone sucks. I'll never be friends with you. Ugh, nah, fuck it, dog. I'm serious. How the fuck can you relate to somebody who cheers for this? Y'all are weird for this. I'm done salvaging relationships. I ain't picking up broken pieces off the ground and saving it. If you can't say that this is bad and just agree it's heinous, then I don't give a fuck if you unfollow me or hate this. It sucks. This shit has done massive amounts of damage, and it's probably exactly how they planned it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We shouldn't. I think we should all be able to come to the agreement, regardless of what political party he is on, or with Charlie Kirk, that, killing someone just over words or differences of beliefs is wrong. And he left it open, the mic open for people to come and talk. So, I mean, I know that in schools and stuff, there's a bunch of people that are taught that particular ways of thinking is hateful or whatever, because there are a lot of teachers for some reason that tend to be liberal in these public schools. So I know that there's some kids that may just grow up thinking that way or how they was raised, but I think I'm not saying that I'll completely shun all of them or whatever, because I know people can change. They can change their way of thinking and stuff. But when something this extreme happens and people think it's okay, it's hard to believe or think that they would change if something like this doesn't change their mind or wake them up. Or, you know what I'm saying. Something like what happened with Charlie Kirk. Pretty sure that's the end. Anyways, I figured a lot of his stuff would be more political. I'm trying not to be super political with this, but I will call things out on both sides when I think that they're wrong. So, all right.